My background is in the airline industry, so very much customer focused, dealing with all sorts of situations on board an aircraft as cabin crew. And I really was looking for something within something that I could set up myself and utilise the skills that I had from my background into a business of my own. When I was looking for a franchise, I don't think I was particularly looking at the industry or the type of franchise. It was more probably things like the risks involved, the investment involved, and was it something that I could use the skills that I currently have and put it into that type of business. I never looked at any other cleaning franchise companies because I was aware of what Cleanhome were doing, and one of the things that particularly attracted me to the Cleanhome business model was that the business fees were capped, so that as I became more successful within my own business, I was the one that benefited from that, rather than the more that I earned, the more I had to pass on to the limited company. I think the support that we received from the Cleanhome management team and the main benefits to us was just getting over that scary part of starting a business yourself, and even just down to the very basics of things like filling out the company registration and just all the initial parts, sort of the scary bits that you think, can I do this? Do I have the business skill to do this? Do I have the knowledge? I think the wonderful thing is that we knew that they had been there before, they'd done exactly the same thing themselves, and we knew that they had the experience to be able to point us in the right direction, and I suppose get over that quite scary part, which is the worst bit at the beginning. It's that leap of initially diving into the water. Once you're in there, they'll help you swim. But it's that initial sort of bit of a leap of faith of getting involved in something, obviously putting money down into a business, and just that probably self-doubt. And the wonderful thing was they were very supportive because they knew how that felt themselves, having done it, and so that was a great deal of support and real comfort when we first started. In terms of the training that we received from Cleanhome, it was absolutely superb. I think when we were setting up the business at the very beginning, there was a great sense of, I suppose, feeling maybe a little bit inadequate and not quite knowing how to actually start things. And it was probably in many cases quite a scary thing to be involved with. But the wonderful thing about the training that we received from Cleanhome was that it was so comprehensive. It was very personal, very much tailored to the skills that we had as individuals already. And so the training was allowing, I suppose, people to be able to gain what they needed specifically out of it, rather than just sort of blanket training course. It was very much tailor-made, and really we found that the Cleanhome management team were very much there holding our hands all the time leading up to our actual launch, and then afterwards they were very much there for any other problems that we had, queries, things that we didn't understand, a lot of unknown territory really, and that backup was always there at the end of the telephone, which was invaluable and still is. The Genesis system really for us is just such a wonderful tool to really manage the business for us. It allows us, it's a full operational system that allows, particularly when there's two of us actually working on within our particular franchise, and we're not always there at the same time, it allows us to be able to see exactly what status all our clients are, all our cleaners are, and actually manage the business almost remotely in some cases. I still do quite a bit of travelling for work, and it allows me from wherever I am in the world to be able to access that system and still in a way manage the business even when I'm not actually in the office. It allows me to be able to see what my partner has done, and he can see what I've been doing as well. So it's a very up-to-date, robust system that keeps track of the whole business from our revenue right to the operational side of it. So very, very comprehensive. I think one of the things about having a franchise with Cleanhome is that it does allow you to have autonomy for running your own business, making your own decisions on a day-to-day basis, but knowing there's a huge amount of backup there should you need it. But if you don't need it and you're happy to get on and work with your own business, then they very much leave you alone to be able to do that. You don't feel that there's someone constantly breathing down your neck, almost telling you how the business should be run. You do have a huge amount of autonomy yourself to be able to run it as you wish it to be run. I think anybody looking to buy into a franchise, Cleanhome is a very, very good product to be buying into. It's very low risk, which was one of the things that particularly attracted us, in that we weren't buying a product, we weren't spending a lot of money on stock, so it was minimum investment really. But the rewards have been great so far, and one of the great things from our point of view is that the more effort we put into building the business, we're the ones that benefit because the monthly fees are capped, and so we very much feel that the hard work that we're doing and the efforts going into it is something that we reap the rewards from, which is a great feeling. I think what probably excites me about the business is not necessarily the actual cleaning business itself. The thing that excites me is being responsible for my own earnings, being responsible for building something, being responsible for building something that I can possibly use as a pension in later life. And it's probably that side of actually running the business that is probably the bit that is quite contagious. But I think also from having had a history from my personal background of dealing with people, dealing with customers, dealing with awkward situations, it really combines all of that. You have to be diplomatic, you have to be friendly, you have to be open, you have to be very honest with people, and those are all skills that I'd learned elsewhere, and they are very transferable into this particular franchise.